Welcome to Youth Impact, where we are not just talking about growing up, we are growing up talking. This show has been brought to you by Success Africa in partnership with KUTV. Certainly, education plays a crucial role in shaping different lives and futures of different people and youths. But what happens when education has been used to limit the poor and to elevate the well-off in the society? We find out shortly because Success Africa went out to the streets, and this is what the youths had to say about education.
I'm Grace Berry. For now, I can say bado sina kazi yenye nimekuwa employed nayo, but nimesomea medicine. Sasa hii unapata sisi maybe tulifanya course moja. So after some period mwingine ashapata job. Na unakuta yeye ameconnectiwa. So hiyo ndio inakuwa shida. So kama wewe hauna mtu mwenye anaweza kuconnect upate hiyo kazi, utabaki tu umekaa na hiyo certificate yako hapo. Then unaweza pata place zingine like mnafika mmeenda tu kutafuta job nyinyi nyote, hata mnaweza kuwa mmeenda wawili watatu, mnafika hapo wewe haushughulikiwi. All of a sudden unaona tu wale watu wamekuwa nao hapo washashughulikiwa wameenda. Kumbe uka hapo kumbe ni huko mbele kuna venye kuko. Sasa pia course matters. Kuna zile course unaweza fanya unabaki kama bado huna kazi. So inabidi hustle tu.
My name is Steven Odhiambo, a teacher at Tender Care Junior Academy, which is in Komarok, and I teach mathematics and chemistry. I graduated from the University of Nairobi some years back. Talking about the second inequality, actually about the courses that are offered in our Kenyan universities. In most youths are going to do courses that are mostly flooded, and they have been done by most of these other youths, for example. And this, when they go to the working field of the market, it gives them hard time to look for this job.
Kuna usawa lakini si sana, manake penye unaona unajaribu lakini si kuja ukasucceed kulingana tu na maisha venye ilikuwa na life venye imekuwa hapo awali. So on my side, yani ndoto yangu haikutimia venye nilikuwa nataka.
Joining us on set today to help us understand the level of education and its impact on the lives of the youth is Mr. Moses Buru, a lecturer at GTI and the head of strategy. Mwalimu, welcome to Youth Impact.
Thank you.
And I know our guests our viewers would be so excited to get to understand what GTI means and what it stands for. So please.
Okay. Thank you very much, Wesley. Mm-hmm. My name is Moses Buru, the lecturer and also senior strategy at GTI. GTI stands for Gorgeous Technical Institute. Mm-hmm. GTI in short.
So why, somebody would ask, why Gorgeous? It's so funny that your name is Gorgeous as an institute. So
Gorgeous is an outcome. Mm-hmm. That what we aspire to achieve at Gorgeous Technical Institute. Mm-hmm. Because GTI is somebody or a fully baked graduate who will go into the labor market to provide customer solutions. Mm-hmm. The world out there orchestrates or operates on solutions. Mm-hmm. So we at Gorgeous, we make sure that every graduate, all the graduates are solution providers in the marketplace. Mm-hmm. Yes.
So that is the whole aspect of Gorgeous.
Gorgeous is just to make sure that every GTI graduate, and that's why they are rare. Mm-hmm. When we get them, they are very good in what they do. Mm-hmm. They are what they call industry pace setters. Mm-hmm. When you go out there, you are going to become an industry pace setter, mm-hmm, because that's what you are shaped to do or to be after college.
That is good. Yes. So into the conversation, what does economic inequality in education mean in different levels of learning?
Very, very important is to ask ourselves a fundamental question, mm-hmm, but not rhetoric. Mm-hmm. Education currently is funded by who? It's funded by the parent.
Yes.
Those who are able, mm-hmm, some NGOs, and government. You've realized that over the years, the private sector, the financiers have almost pulled out. Mm-hmm. Simply because it's a cyclical problem. that comes back to us. If I finance these students, what's going to happen at the end of the day? How will I be able to recover that money from that? So you realize that the burden of education has been left to the three of them. And you realize that the parents have the most hardest hit because of economic situations. So really, a child from a poor family will be very disadvantaged when it comes to accessing education in this country. Yes, that will be the way it is.
So as a person, maybe could you share your personal experience maybe with the economic barriers in regards to your education as a person up till the time that you became a lecturer?
Yes. I went to school in Nairobi school. In Nairobi. I couldn't use my school fees. That's number one. So we had to rely on bursaries, right? After finishing school, I went to university in Nairobi. And then there we had the government support system. We were able to learn. But after finishing school, we had a big problem because I could not be able to access a job immediately. So meaning that I'm a graduate, but you have to tarmac. But even the other courses I would have wanted to do in college, I couldn't do them because you're only limited with what the government is able to provide.
To provide.
Yeah. So there are so many limitations about what I would want to have done because of finances. Yeah.
So are you actually sharing the thoughts of quite a number of youths out there who are also facing different challenges in regards to funding their education system? So recently the government did revise the fee for the universities, and we are seeing it's coming from 35,000 shillings maximum to about 270,000 minimum, of course. So what difference will this bring, and how to what extent will it increase the financial burden to parents and students when it comes to achieving their educative goals?
The impact will be dire and big because you're simply saying you're paying that 5,000 shillings. By the time you're leaving college, you're already a debtor. Your status, and even today, remember, even currently, one of the things which is required in the job market is that you have to have a clearance from the Higher Education Loans Board. So already you're saying...
So you should be debt-free by the time you're finishing.
So that how do you get work when already you're being told by employers that you need to have a certificate? So when you push the money up, the fees up, what are you simply saying for the youth? You're simply saying you actually exclude more of the youth will be excluded from the job market, simply because you have increased the cost of education. Yes.
So does the government provide alternative fundings to school so that maybe the prices of education is lowered to the normal mwananchi?
I see it as more needs to be done, both by the institutions and government. Because what if those institutions were generating their own income? If they could generate their own income, it means they can reduce the burden on the students. Because what are the students doing? What is the college work doing? Institutions or colleges are supposed to be imparting skills to the youth. What are these skills for? For customer-driven solutions. I remember at some point in Nairobi University, we used to have varsity bread, and we could sell the bread as an income. The university could be able to make money from selling the bread. Selling the bread, yes. We have many agricultural institutes, Egertons of this world, and Cabetes of this world. How do they produce? If they can be able to become productive in what they do, then you can reduce the cost of school fees. Plus, also remembering that you also give them a chance to practice the real life skills they are learning from the colleges. The moment you have a disconnect in that, whereby you're saying, where is the income coming from? If the income is going to come from the exchequer, from the treasury, and you're not be able to get your own income, then you have a problem. The ICT colleges, how many have been able to come up with solutions which they can vet in the open market? You realize you graduate students in ICT, but you could be the first point. You could be churning out or you're providing solution, ICT solution to the labor market. That way you're able to work with the students and also be able to reduce school fees. But bottom line, there is a way that the government, through subsidies, through income generating activities, the fees can be able to be managed. It
So-
can be done.
So because you've talked of ICT, I'm tempted to ask, there's an example, a student in Uasin Gishu by the name Mercy Tarus, who recently exploded online. So two aspects of her life. She is a graduate, a recent graduate from 2020. She claims to be selling porridge, which is quite embarrassing for somebody who has stayed in school for close to 5 years just to get the degrees that she has. So do you think that people have lost confidence in the level of education that we are offering as a country? Are we competent enough?
I want to say this, and the government has also realized there's a big mismatch between what you learn in school and what the market wants. And you hear is about, we did some research at GTI, about 9 out of 10 students will do something totally different from what they learn in
From
school.
what they learn.
Some of them will do, like Mercy, as an example, will do porridge. Maybe she do something, another course. Others will do, will be underemployed. Others will do all manner of jobs in the marketplace. So 9 out of 10. Now, when you come from a leadership perspective, and that's why you've been saying all the time that our education system needs to be responsive to the industry. Because what's the essence of a college? The essence of a college or university degree is to be able to equip students with skills
For the job market.
for the job market. That's what they're supposed to do. And you need to be very close with the job market. What are the emerging trends? What are the emerging needs in the market? The moment you have that alignment, then you have almost a 100% transition. A very good example also, maybe I should say this. Take an example of how students join college. Some of them will do it because the peers want it. Others will do it because their parents want a certificate. Others will do
So
it
they're
because of the
pushed into
certificate.
doing
They are
it
pushed
without
into doing
really
things.
wanting to do it for themselves.
And when they get there, most of the institutions are like, just come, we want more of your money, your school fees, more than what you're going
More
to
than
get
what
out
you're
of
going
it.
to give you.
Yes. Yeah.
So still looking at Mercy Tarus, because I believe she represents 1,000 other youths who are out there, probably just finished school. And we see that she's also coming from a point of being scammed with the hope of trying to get further education outside the country. So we are taking a short break, and when we come back, we talk more on how best the youths can protect themselves from falling into such kind of scams. Thank you for staying tuned to Youth Impact. We proceed with our lovely conversation with Mr. Moses. So before we took a break, we were talking on youths being scammed. And it's so painful that this is coming from the county government, which should be a symbol of unity and trust for the entire county. But you see, this lady has been scammed. So do we have channels maybe to ensure that our youths are secure and safe from losing so much money with the hope of getting a higher education from outside Kenya?
It's very unfortunate that our government and our systems don't insulate our children and our youth from such kind of schemes. Remember, this is not the only incidents. There have been very many incidents because they're very vulnerable. They want work, they want someone, they want to get work, and the people who take advantage of that, which is very, very, very wrong. But it goes back to, in the case of Mercy, who is she? If you go back to the college she went to, and probably interview the fraternity, the administration, then they did a good job. But if there's somebody who should be sleepless, would be those people who taught Mercy. Because you cannot keep on churning out, and that is what is happening in Kenya today. You keep on ticking boxes that you have graduation ceremonies, but where do those people go? Where do those youth go? There comes a time when we must decide as an industry, education industry, that we must be able to change course. And I like what the government is doing currently. The government is not doing the CBC curriculum. They're talking about the CBC at the university level. Because I've realized this system of churning out unemployed graduates is going to get somewhere which will not be controllable. At GTI, where we are, we have decided as a team that we only graduate 2 people. You either go to get a job and you're fully trained to do a job, or you go into entrepreneurship. In this year, many graduation parties and ceremonies will be sending out youth, go out there, become employers. Other statements you'll hear from government. We shall support our youth with funding. That statement has been said since the memorial. Nothing changes. We need to get to a point as a nation and as a people and say what needs to be done to prevent another case of mercy, another case of a county, because it happens in all other counties in Kenya. And it is possible, because when you become co-workers, who are the players here? We got an industry. When we use the industry, we are all consumers of goods, services, and technologies, right? So if institutions, colleges, institutions are going to become solution providers, institutions of shaping skills to solve or to provide solutions, then that is a starting point. Our children, our youth not go to university and colleges to just have a certificate. That is now the problem. We need to start getting our youth to go to university to become a solution provider. From the day one, they enter college. That alignment needs to start on the day one. The moment you talk about living as a graduate with a paper and going to the labor market, you get it all wrong. Everything goes here from there.
So because you've mentioned categorically that universities, and I also understand that there's a big difference between universities and technical colleges. So GTI falls within the technical colleges.
Yes.
So most students in this country or in Africa at large have not been able to access education due to their different economic levels. So what gap is GTI, or how do you handle people who are not able to financially afford your institution independently? Is there a way like you can support them to get the education that they need, but at a subsidized or lower cost?
At GTI, I remember what you're simply saying is that every institution will definitely have a harvest at the end of the day. So for us at GTI, we have structured our courses in such a way that we have very short courses, a bit medium-term courses and long-term courses, and we have very, very flexible payment terms for the graduate, for the students. But what we insist more on is this. Take a simple example of why are you acquiring the skill? Is to provide a solution. Depending on your financial capabilities, a short course, what we call short maturity courses, which can be able to get you to the market and make you to use those skills, to be able to solve problems and then earn an income. Those ones will give them a lot of weight, especially for the youth who are not able to make it. Of course, we have alternative ways of funding them, and we're looking for well-wishers who can support the students. At some point, we do that because at the end of the day, we're not interested just with the money factor. We want to see that every graduate from GTI will leave college and be able to be somebody that is adding value to the society. Impacting society is what we call it. And that is how we do that through solution providers. So we as a GTI have programs to make sure that we support the very needy, but also aligned to becoming a solution provider. Yes.
So the government proposes a 70% support in terms of loans to people who are not able to afford the higher education standards. But do you think it's still a help, or it's going to hurt the youth at the end of the day? Because I'm thinking of, if the government gives you a loan of 70%, you're coming from a not well-off background, you have to finish your education, still acquiring debts all through your education system. Do you think there is a better way through which the government can support people who are not economically fit to afford the education levels, or that is the best they can do?
For me, I think it's a very good opportunity that government can be able to give the 70% of the school fees that's supposed to be done. However, the quality of the learning and the outcome of the learning is what is critical here. Because if you're going to graduate, have the graduates who will be just another graduate with a paper, then you have created a debt or a debtor who will then struggle in paying off that debt. But if you have molded, shaped these youth into a solution provider, the world will see them as solution providers. What's going to happen? They finish college, employers will be learning for them, and they'll be able to get jobs and they can be able to pay off their loans. So it is cyclical. If you one thing affects the other one. So if you can be able to graduate with people or students who are, solution providers, and there should be help in some of the very basic things, and there should not be a scenario whereby this student is only trained on the technical part, skill of it. No, you need to have an all-round, holistic graduate. By holistic, you're simply saying, this graduate has been taken through a real life simulation. What happens in real life? Actually, we used to say that life begins after college. It's very, very dangerous to think that way. Because life begins, the day you join college especially, you should be able to have an example of how will life be when you leave. If you understand how life will be when you leave, the skills and the journey of the skills acquisition becomes very interesting. And we said earlier on, why in college in the first place? At GTI, we always say, you will be in college to become an industry pace setter. So if you want to be an industry pace setter in the very basic things, in photography, in catering, in hospitality, in fashion, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to be. So my work as a lecturer is very, very easy, because all I need to do is to mold you to become a solution provider in your line of interest, following your passion, things that you love. Yeah.
So the main problem is not, the main question should not be how much the government gives
It's
you.
not
It
about
should be
exactly what
the
is
outcome of what you get.
Yes. Yes.
So because parents are the main shareholders in regards to their children's education, what is their role in ensuring that there are equal access to education regardless of the economic standards of different people?
But parents are very, very important in the whole game. Remember, for you to produce an industry, a solution provider, the parent is very, very important in all this process. We have incidences whereby parents really influence what the child must do. They dictate, I want my son to be in this college, I want my son to have this course. Not because the person, the youth wants it. So the youth will be encouraged for the parent. That youth will probably end up being something else in life. So the parent guidance is very, very important. Support is very, very important. But also giving the youth the freedom to choose and to follow their passions in life. The moment you follow your passions in life, you attract things that are related to what you want to achieve. The moment you have a misalignment, I was encouraged because my father said I must do this and that. That is the end of the story. That student, that graduate, may end up doing something totally different and wasting a lot of time and money. So parents are very, very important, but they must give the space, allow the space for the youth to decide their destiny. Yes.
Wow, so lovely. So I want you, looking at that camera, to talk to a youth who probably has been stamped as economically unfit to pursue higher education. Tell them one thing. What is the way forward for them? And of course, a brief overview of GTI as we sum it all up.
The way I would want to say is that if you know or you have a passion for something, I want to give an example. In Nairobi school, I couldn't afford school fees. I couldn't pay school fee for Form 2 and Form 3 and Form 4. What did I do? I actually literally walked to all the offices, knocked on all offices, and I remember at one time I met the director of education in Nairobi, and I told him, one day when I leave Nairobi school, I'll go to university and come back and pay my school fees. Let me finish my school, my high school. All the days I used to be out of college because out of school because of being sent away. What am I saying? Passion is very, very important. If you really want to achieve something in life, certain goals in life, you have to make sure you drive them. No one can do it for you. Only you can do it. And what do we mean by that? If you are very clear that I want to have that course, because that course means 1, 2, 3 things for you, you'll be able to attract the right support systems within you. it starts with your determination, with what do you want to be at the end of the day. Are you just floating, you know, or are you the kind of person who says, this is what I want to be, and this is what I want to go for? And at GTI, we are very, very clear that we shall not be graduating, you know, students for the sake of graduation ceremonies, ticking the boxes and statistics of how many we did. We actually want to shape industries. We want to hear that a GTI graduate, even from the smallest level, and I will give a very good small level. I'll take an example of a technical skill, like baking of the samosas. I don't know, even today when I sit here in this interview, who I can call in Kenya because I have a party and I want to handle good samosas. I'll be doing so with a lot of question marks. But if I know a student or somebody who does good samosas, which are healthy and which are good, I will make that phone call. Because we need to also help our youth to be able to know the word called branding or marketing. It doesn't happen when you finish university or college. Branding starts way back. Because end of the day, our system of education is somehow so aligned that people or our students don't realize what they will be at the end of the day. But if you start introducing things like branding, that people don't buy products. I don't buy milk, I buy Brookside. I don't buy a soda, I buy Coca-Cola. I don't buy juice, I buy Afia juice. Those are very simple things that people somehow, our education system assumes will be acquired once you leave college.
So it should be a learning progress.
It should be a learning program from the day you join college. How shall you call those samosas or those mandazis or those simple things that you can be able to do the day you did.
I like the way you bring it out in the aspect that as a youth, I should know exactly what I want to be at the end of my road. And that means I start as early as day one in school. Wow, that is so informative, and I want to take this chance to thank you so much for joining us at Youth Impact. I believe after this conversation, there is absolutely no youth out there who will miss education because they are not having the right funds, they are not having the right people to speak to, and thanks to you, the interview has been achieved. So yeah, thank you. You said we don't graduates, or we don't produce graduates. We do what we produce. Solution providers.
That's what the market wants. The market the market operates on solution providers. If you graduate solution providers, the rest is easier. If you produce graduates, you struggle with statistics. So what I'll be urging the youth, please, when you leave college, please don't just leave college with a paper. Leave college with a skill.
With a skill.
Go out there and become a solution provider. The world will come looking for you. Papers, you can work with the papers, but the world will come to you because you are unique and you're a unique solution provider. Yes.
So papers will always get lost, but your skills, you cannot lose them. On to the Youth of the Week segment, we take a keen focus on Joshua Gitonga, who's the founder of Rafiki Pay, an agro-processing company that seeks to provide women and young Kenyans with access to markets for sustainable oil seeds, as well as a respectable wage. Let's have a look.
My name is Joshua Gitonga, and I'm the founder of Rafiki Pay Limited. At Rafiki Pay, we deal in the aggregation of oilseeds, that is sunflower, canola, peanuts, and soybeans. So this is where we do contract farming. We offer, in this contract farming, we offer the farmers with the training, also, and the certified seeds. After training the farmers, we give them the certified seeds. Then we guarantee them, in our agreement, we guarantee them the market. Yes, so after we get the produce, we process them and then we take to the market. Initially, I was employed, and during my tenure as an employee, I used to farm my family's land. I used to do the sunflower, and there was a lot of struggle in accessing the market. The only market we had was the animal feeds. So we were struggling. Most of the farmers were struggling to take their produce that is the oilseeds, which are the major protein source for the animal feeds. So we didn't have any other market during that time. That is 6-7 years ago. So I started researching on how we can have our produce processed locally. So that's where I tapped the gaps. I saw the gaps in the importing a lot of oil as a country, and when there is a shortage, we used to suffer a lot. So that's what inspired me to, so because most of the small farmers, they didn't have market to take to the brokers used to oppress them with the mega pay. So that inspired me a lot. So we in this contract, we don't we include all farmers. We don't have the bigger farmers. You know, the opportunities for the all farmers. 90% of our farmers are smallholder farmers. That is farmers who are doing a quarter and to 4 acres. So currently we are serving over 100,000 smallholder farmers that are in daily farming. And we have seen an increase in their productivity by 15%. We have 32 counties, mostly that are in the semi-arid areas. That is like this place you can see, it's in a semi-arid area.
As we wrap it all up, and if you're watching this show, remember, you're not just a graduate, you are a solution provider. Thank you so much for staying tuned to Youth Impact. As always, we say, stay curious and keep making a difference. I am your host, Derek Wesley. Adios.